Welcome back to the channel, and yeah, you were expecting Cuttlers Bend, but I thought I'd quickly show you this because this is going to be the inspiration for today's build at Cuttlers Bend. And we're going to be using a mod from Ethrone from the master plan called Bob's Iguana Diner. There you go, there it is there. And that's part of the master plan series. So let's get into the build, guys, and I'll explain where we're going with this. So one of the rules that Proton Radz put out was that this car park area down the bottom had to be a kind of feature area. So I thought about it for quite a while, and it made sense that this is kind of a cul-de-sac end of the road. There would be a diner here at some point. It just made sense that there'd be a diner here. So the first thing I've got to do is put a diner in place, and then what we're going to do is we're going to scrap it up a bit and make it kind of the headquarters for the settlement, or at least the military option of the settlement. So first time I have ever built a diner with this mod, so you're in for a treat. So one of the first things that I did, as you might have noticed, is I went back to Concord, back to Starlight Drive-In area, and had a look at Drumlin Diner and just studied it to see how it was put together. And I've got to say, this mod is really straightforward. Everything snaps into place quite nicely, and I don't actually have too many dramas here, although I must admit this is the second time I've built it. So all you've got to watch for is that you have the right colour. So you can see that's kind of red and kind of yellowy kind of colour, beige kind of colour. And also that some pieces have that kind of window kind of ledge and some don't. So that's really all you have to worry about there. And everything else should be fairly straightforward to build the diner with. And as you can see, it's very quick to try and get it into place, and you can actually just lift this all up in one hit, just like that. I do that a couple of times during this video just to get it in the right space. What does take the time, and what I'm not going to show you, is some of the concrete pieces that I had to put in after I'd finished clipping all this together, and it was before I actually had the grounded mod. The grounded mod would have saved me so much time here, but anyway, we didn't have the grounded mod, so I had to improvise, and luckily one of Ethrone's other mods had some concrete pieces from Sanctuary, so I just used those, but they were painful to put in, to say the least. So I'm just trying to check the level here, because I want that floor to be, I need to see that floor at least a little bit. Now you can see it's kind of floating, kind of not floating, and hence why I had to put the concrete foundations in. I don't mind it clipping through the floor a little bit, and it's pretty easy. As you can see, the individual floor pieces just all snap into place quite nicely. And she's a beauty, except probably for the last piece. Yep, the last piece doesn't want to snap to anything. Of course it doesn't, because it's the last piece. There we go. So we'll just persuade it. There we go. Nice. And that didn't take too long at all to get this all into place. Now these pieces here are for the roof, so we can just snap those in just like that. And there's lots of options here, lots and lots of pieces, all very well built. This mod, everything works the way it should, apart from one particular item which we're going to see in a while. So there you go, quick diner in a couple of minutes. So again, so many options for the windows, the doors. You can have shutters, you can have windows, you can vary it up in this one, and we just speed it up a little bit. Obviously you could also go through and board up some of these windows if you wanted, if you're doing what I'm doing, and make it a kind of derelict or abandoned diner. And that's why I'm putting a lot of the shutters up on here, just to make it look as though it's it's been abandoned, and you know, it's just a case of trying to make it look as though it should be there. These corner windows for some reason gave me a little bit of a hassle, but once I found the right position for them, it wasn't too bad. You just needed to find the right angle to make them snap. There we go. And you can see some of them are clear, some of them are frosted, some of them have a bit of a crack or break in them, so all pretty easy. Put the sign in. I put the sign with that didn't have anything written on it because I thought that would show, kind of speak to the lore of what we're trying to do. I've left those cars in there and we're going to build around them in a little bit of time, but the main thing is I needed to get this in place first. I'm faffing around with this sign trying to get it right. So you can see you can't actually read what is on that sign there. Then we're going to put these grebes on, whatever that is. Guess it's some kind of air conditioning vent ducty thing. Now this is what just drove me absolutely nuts, and the thing that drove me nuts is I've cut out most of this, trying to find where this actually goes green. Not where you would think. Not where you would think at all. So I'm spinning it round and trying to put it on the ground. Oh, hang it. There. Oh, hang it. Hang. Oh, come on. Nudge it. There it is. So to be able to put it in place, I've got to find that spot. And then to put it in place is easy. But finding that spot, my goodness, took just forever to do. And you can see it's hanging. It's just hanging off the side. So we'll put that in place. Obviously it's a franchise, so I just get that nice and straight in front of the door, and there we go. There is our diner. Job done. Fairly easy to do. Okay, so what next? So you can see I've put all this concrete in. You do not want to see that ever in your lifetime because it just took so long. Oh god, I think I got grey hairs putting that concrete in. I put some stools in and whatnot. So what I'm going to do is I've got what I decided to do is, okay, so we have the diner there. It's been there for years. We need to find it would make a great spot for a look at down towards the river behind us, and so I'm going to put some kind of way of getting up the top of the diner. I'm trying to get that as close to the building as possible, and we'll build a way of getting up on top of the roof, and then we're going to fortify the roof. It's basically the idea. And this is a real tight spot in the back here, so it takes me a while to get this done. This kind of nicely meshes with a couple of builds that I've been doing actually lately, which is kind of taking the idea of the builds and like survivors houses that I've been doing lately, or they will be coming up on the channel, and it's really just taking an existing building and working on that building, modifying it as like a survivor might do, and making it there. Either you could call it a player home, you could call it whatever you like, but I've been doing a few of those lately, rather than doing full builds, and I'm really enjoying it. And this kind of works the same as that, because I think this is, you'll find a couple of these throughout the Commonwealth, and I think it would make a perfect player home, or you could really modify it as though somebody had survived the nuclear explosion and had decided to take over the diner and make it their home or their headquarters or something like that. So that's the basic idea that I'm going with. In the next few videos on the channel, those will be the episodes that I put out on a Monday in the Southern Hemisphere. That'll be probably Sunday afternoon in Northern Hemisphere, so keep an eye out for them. Like I said, it's been, I'm trying a few new things on the channel, and I've really enjoyed putting those out. I think the first one probably went out earlier this week, and there's another one coming. So these cars do give me a challenge, but I actually like it because rather than move, the easy thing to do here would be to move those cars, but I like the challenge of working round them and building something that I probably would not, I would normally just scrap those and not worry about them, and this just forces me to make something out of what's already there. So I said at the start, the very first introduction video that I did, that I was this is what I wanted to do. Didn't want to scrap too much in this build, and I wanted to use kind of existing materials. Now, one of the things that I have added, you might notice or may not have noticed, but those hedges there I've actually added in. You may have noticed that, I may not have noticed that in the start of the video, but those have actually been added in as a kind of natural barrier. So we just gotta fix the issue of getting up onto the roof here, because you can't jump up there every time you come up here. So trying a few options, see what works, see what sticks. So we'll try these stairs. Eventually I think I get these to work. They do, however, need a little bit of gentle persuasion and a little bit of help from Place Anywhere, I think, from memory. And we'll get them into place just like that. And I do want to make it look as though they've kind of been bodged up, or kind of built through the building. And so we're up onto the top, which is good. There's a pretty reasonable amount of room up the top for us to do some other stuff on, so that's good. There you go. All good. Let's anti-shimmer everything. Oop. And we should be alright. There we are. So I'm not going to show you all the decoration on the top here, but I will show you a little bit, because I'm using a relatively new mod. I've been using it for a while now, probably a couple of weeks now, called Sandbag Fortifications, and it just gives you so many options. And you can see it's in the defensive tab or menu of your build menu, and so it just gives you so many items. I'd love to see it kind of be in a separate menu, because you have to scroll through absolutely everything. So I'm just thought I'd leave this in to show you. I'm just scrolling through, looking for different things. See, so I end up plopping those down for see how they look. And if you're looking for kind of defensive looking items, Sandbag Fortifications is the mod for you. But you can see it kind of puts it in that first part of the menu, and you've got to scroll through quite a bit to find all the different items, and it does cause a little, well, at least for me, it's causing a little bit of frame rate drop when I'm using it. But apart from that, it's a fantastic mod, and I want to do a full build with these at some point in the future, so watch this space. So I'll cut in a minute to some of the decoration on the ground, then we'll do the full tour. So Sandbag Fortifications has these lovely barbed wire fences, which I just love the look of. They're just nice, and it all kind of fits nicely into this space here. I'll probably have to adjust them just slightly so they all kind of fit across there. I just got my guesstimate wasn't quite accurate, and they all snap nicely into each other. So show you a few more items, and then you'll see in the final tour how this all kind of comes together pretty nicely. There we go. So you see they all kind of snap nicely into there. I think I end up taking this car here out. Maybe I do, but I can't remember. It's been a while since I done these builds, because I just got pretty inspired and into the build, to be honest. And yeah, it was about 10 or 12 videos later that I started actually publishing them. So, and that was just basically a timing issue for the channel. So Stick around for the final tour because I will show you an extra super secret build that we've done down in this area, and you can see that. So there's all these camouflage nets, all kinds of stuff that you can use here. So let's go to the final tour. So here you go, guys. I've got to keep this. I've got to do some weird angles on this one, I'll just tell you. But as you can see, we've militarized it up as much as possible. You got the tent for your strategy meetings, and I guess one of your leaders to just, you can report to the NCO or whatever. Kept it fairly sparse, but just enough decoration to make it convincing. Have obviously put canters and seats and everything in to make it look as though, you know, it's an existing diner, and they obviously use this now as their storage area. You know, they've got lots of pieces of mini nukes and ammunition, all kinds of stuff blended in with your kind of diner items there. So shut the door. We will get to that building there in a minute. You can see I've militarized the front there a little bit, and I've added a little bit underneath here. Now I've got to be careful what angle I show you here because I don't want to give away all the building I've done after this build. So this is a little meeting area underneath here, and that sleeping bag you can actually use. Lots of these. I love these little areas in a settlement, and utilizing this piece underneath. So we'll hop up on top now. I have to go up the stairs backwards so I don't show you what I've built, but just added a whole lot of things that you would normally see in this tent. I love this little tent here, you know, camouflaged little tent. It gives you a nice overlook, an emergency kit just in case you get wounded, but a nice little overlook here, just to kind of snipe from and keep an eye on any bad guys that might be around down there. And let me tell you, this settlement generally has its fair share of bad people coming to say hello and yeah, want to meet you with their guns. So I've added that kind of concrete piece there to the barbed wire, and we'll go into here. This is kind of the little headquarters, but you know, it's a scrappy headquarters. It isn't a kind of Minuteman type headquarters. It's a really thrown together headquarters. And so the desk is actually a trunk, steamer trunk, you know, and it's various boxes. There is a filing cabinet, but there isn't a heck of a lot in here for them, or decoration in here for them to use. Kept it very sparse in here, with a touch of Australiana, of course. The Australian flag is there, and oh, who designed that? I can't get through, so I'm gonna have to open the door and back out. So I hope you've enjoyed this one, guys. It's a little bit different, taking and building something that would be in the Commonwealth and then junking it up a little bit more and making it a feature. Thanks for joining us, guys. See you next time on Gaming for XP. See ya.